Hello, 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 friends. Guess what? It's Monday, and we are here with another amazing episode of Pink Pixels. We are now healthily into November, and we are seeing fall draw upon us, the cold weather, the sweaters. All of it is just perfect, and I hope you get the joy of it. I'm currently in Orlando, so like we had fall, and then it went back up into the 80s, so I'm hoping we'll get fall again. I'll share whatever warmth and sunshine I can tonight. Yes. Yes. I love it. I love it. And you know what? Fall vibes just always makes me think of the importance of kind of taking care of ourselves. Like it's summer's just like you're running, you're out, you're doing everything. Yes. And so here, yeah, we're just going to be perfectly cozy in with our space. And tonight, we're going to have an amazing guest join us. You can hear her. Chibi's going to be joining us. You know what? I've done enough talking. Let's go ahead and turn it over. I want you to see the full embrace of our wonderful guest this evening. Chibi, go ahead and say hello to us and tell us a little bit about yourself. But your room is magical looking. Like I see One Piece. I see, of course, the hat and Pikachu and dancing lights and hearts. You've built. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I think people forget that for content creators is like we've curated a special spot that you can see. Everything else.
That's like a corner or a wall, like, and that's kind of all you need. It sounds so weird when I like really think about it.
So you have this beautiful, adorable corner, and Chibi, you do so much cosplayer, content creator, just a full list. And of course, you are no stranger to the gamers either, right?
Yes,
Like
yes.
you have been in this space. What do you love about being in this gaming industry, being here as a creator, an artist that you
Right.
are?
I think that especially now, I'm very like glad and grateful to be able to be in the space now because it's never been like this. It's exploding, it's growing every day.
Hmm.
And that's just like across the board in gaming, not just like the developers or just like the graphic artists, like just
Hmm.
community leaders and social media teams, and it's like become this whole ecosystem, and it's really cool to like see it. Because I mean, I started gaming
Hmm.
besides, like, PC games like Rear Rabbit, Clue Finders back in the day, but, like, PlayStation 2 was my, like, first kind of bread and butter.
Yes.
So, like, the way gaming was back then, and that's not even, like, that far back or whatever, but, I mean, PlayStation 2 is vintage now, which is so crazy. Whoa,
Let's not.
time, relax,
No.
but,
No.
right. And it's funny, like, even, like, my dad used to buy me those, like, bootleg plug and play video games and stuff before then, so, like, I just to see how it gaming is now, I'm just like, "Wow,"
Hmm.
like, time. But it's really cool being in the space. I think the most thing I love is about, yeah, just being here now, being able to feel like I can make a difference, and just seeing other people make differences, and just, like, like, the Xbox, director is, like, a black woman. It's just, like, cool to be like, "Yeah," like
Here we are.
exactly, like, girls everywhere, like, I'm just like, "Yeah, like, this is cool."
The future is now, right? And
Yeah.
we're still creating it. We're still pushing boundaries
Exactly, there's
and
so much more
evolving.
to go, so
I love it. Now, my audio was glitching a little bit earlier. Didn't like in the transition. I want to also explain just a little dive the many
Mhm.
names in which you go by, right? Chibi,
Oh, yes,
Chibith0t, Sachi, right?
yes.
Tell us about this because that's one of the
Okay.
best parts of being as a creator is you build
Mhm.
your identity and how you choose and
Right.
share and call yourself with others. So talk to us about that a little
Right,
bit.
right, right. So my first, like, nickname outside of cosplaying, before I started cosplaying, I was
Mhm.
way more into the fashion world. I was doing, like, fashion styling, assisting different stylists and stuff. My nickname in that world, like different
Yeah.
avatars,
Yes.
that's Sachi.
Hmm.
So that was kinda like that's what most people call me, that's, like,
Hmm.
my name. And then, Chibith0t was my cosplay name. I wanted to come up with something that was, like, cute,
Yeah.
but also not, like just something that nodded to the fact that I'm, from Brooklyn, I'm kind of outspoken, I'm not super rated G, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
nothing, like, super lewd, but just something, like, funny and memorable and short, like,
Of
"Oh,
course.
like, Chibita, haha," kinda thing, and it stuck, and I was like, "Cool, no one hates me, I love this." And I've just been going with that ever since.
Hey, but that's the thing, like, when you find something, you're like, "This sounds good to me. It works and it
Yeah.
reflects how I want people to see me." You're like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
here's how we go.
And it's
Here's how
funny,
we
I
go."
had to add the 0 because, like, when you have your handle, it's like, "Okay, do I call you, like, Caustic or Phoenix?" And it's like,
Mhm.
obviously, you would, like, pick the thing that sounds so,
Easier.
obviously, at first, it was like, "Oh, yeah, Thought," and it's like, "Okay, well, like, no."
Don't just call me
Because
that. Yeah.
right, yes, that's my name in the handle, but that's not the acronym we're gonna use. So I was
Honestly,
like, "Okay, 0 to kinda" so then Chibi happened.
that is a brilliant tactic. I have not heard of that. I've not thought about that. But you're right. Like when I see
That was my Twitch
names,
name, so I
yes, yes.
learned
Well,
that very quick.
I'm looking at, chat like brutality. I would say brutality because zero has an E and an O in it as well. And be like, oh,
Mhm,
yeah,
yeah,
your brain automatically goes to what's the easiest thing to read. So, what a
right.
smart way to kind of, this was not a level of awareness I brought to gamer tags.
I realized that because 'cause I'm like, "Okay, well, 1, I'm on Twitch, right?" So it's like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna learn that very quick.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Hey, Thought, hi, Thought, oh, Thought, hey," and it's like,
Yeah.
"Alright, wait, hold on." It's like, "Wait, there's a whole other word before that."
Yes. Yes. I've
So
been
I added this
enlightened.
here, I'm like, "Hopefully, y'all kinda get it."
Fair. No, no, no. I love it. Now, tonight in this series, we're doing something fun. We're doing a get ready with me. So we get to dive in and learn about you as you work. We get to see
Yeah,
the artist at play here. So go ahead as before we dive further into who you are, talk to
mhm.
us about what we're doing tonight.
So tonight, I'm going to just hop into a little Chun-Li for y'all. I got this cosplay over the summer. I only got to wear it once, and it was,
Mhm.
like, super hot, so I was like, "Yeah, let me" seems like fun, and Street Fighter vibes, of course, because
Yes.
Street Fighter 6 is going crazy right now, so
Mhm. 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 Perfect timing. It's all the
Mhm,
rage. Big
mhm,
conversations, tournaments wanting
right.
kicked off. Do you play Street Fighter?
I am way more of a Tekken girl. The last
Fair.
Street Fighter I would say that I, like, played was, Street Fighter Ultimate 4 or 4 Ultimate,
Mm.
one of those,
Mhm.
with Elena and Ibuki,
Yep.
like, those were, like, my girls, but Street Fighter 5 I'm just really bad at reading the, inputs for Street Fighter for some reason, like, the symbols just completely mess me up. I'm like,
Mhm.
quarter circle what?" Like, it's
It's a language.
yeah,
It
and the
is.
timing is different for me, like, I'm more like, I
Mhm.
can do Mortal Kombat, I'm good at Tekken, Dead or Alive, I like a
Yeah.
kinda.
There's a rhythm to it.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
So how do you first start your getting ready process? Right? Especially for those of us who are looking for inspiration. Halloween just passed and we're like, "Oh, I want to
Yes.
do better next year. How do I elevate?" Where do you begin?
I find a character that I'm, like, gonna be excited about.
Mhm.
Um, Usually, like, for me, it's obviously either, like, an anime character or video game character.
Always a good
Once
choice.
you find a character you're gonna be excited about, then it becomes the "is this possible" thing, because obviously character design is amazing, I love it, I'm obsessed, I wish I could draw. But, sometimes the proportions and the way
Yeah.
straps hold and the things aren't realistic.
Mhm. Mhm.
Or just, like, the how big armor and stuff like that.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
kinda have to, like, "Okay, like, I wanna do this. Am I able to do this in my own way?" Because obviously it doesn't have to be, like, canon or whatever. So if you can find a way to, like, scale it down to something or make them, like, this is the character in, like, casual clothes and things like that.
Mhm.
So I, like, decide on the character, freak out for about a month or 2, and then a week before the con, like, get my life
Like,
together.
here we go. Here we
But
go.
don't be like me, don't do that.
But I'm glad you mentioned that because so many times I think people look at content creators,
Mhm.
especially great cosplayers, and they're like, "Oh, they make it so easy." So when you say like freak out a little bit, like that's just part of the process. Like you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
freak out,
Mhm.
acknowledge and build it into your time frame.
Exactly, and especially if it's, like, something, like, you're excited about, like, you want your community to be, like, proud of, like,
Yes.
people always like, "Oh, you cosplay for attention." It's like, well, yes, but also, like, of course, we're posting for attention, so you can
Yes.
see because we both like this series or something like that.
Hmm.
So, especially when it's, like, a character that you're like, "Okay, like, I wanna do it good," or whatever
Yes.
your standard of good is,
Yes.
it becomes very, like
Yes. What a strange thing to be like, oh, you're doing it for attention. But that's well, yeah, and
It's I
you're on
never
these social medias and Twitch looking
right.
for people so yes.
Like, I've never understood that. It's like, well, yeah, we spend hours, and especially, like, when you get to, like, people who, like, sew everything,
Oh yeah.
all their armor's made. I dibble and dabble in that
Mhm.
because their skills are, like, kudos to them, but it's like, it's people spend months and months. It's like,
Yeah.
"Yes, I want the world to see this. Hello, look at me." Like
Yes. Yes. This is meant to be shared. I think that's such an
right,
important part of art, right? Like it's always good. It's part of you, your expression, and you gain value out of it. But there's joy in giving it to others and allowing them
right, and
to
expressing
experience
that.
it. Hmm.
Sharing it.
I mean, I
Definitely.
as a non cosplayer, I adore going to cons and seeing some of my favorite characters brought to life, especially in
Right.
new and creative ways. Like, oh, I've never even thought of that. Or crossovers. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah,
crossovers.
crossovers are really fun.
Oh,
Definitely fun. Or, like, with me, it's, like, make anything cyberpunk or steampunk themed, like the Mario Party steampunk or,
yes.
dystopian, like, Barney, I don't know, like, whatever, like,
Just
something super cool.
that's amazing. But yeah, then it allows a new level of like the recreative artist. Like, how
Right.
do other people see this character
It's
and
their
want to
part,
bring them
right.
life? Mm.
Definitely, definitely.
So,
That was my experience with cons. I, like, saw other cosplayers, and I was like
yeah. This is it. This is art.
Mhm.
Tell me what you're doing. As a very mediocre makeup person,
Oh,
I
me
look at
too.
this and I'm like, what is she
So I put
doing?
on concealer, and then I'm putting on this, eyeshadow primer that I
Okay.
think possibly works, but for some reason, me and eyeshadow do not get along,
Okay.
but
I
we're
don't
gonna try
understand
it
it. They
again.
always end up creased, right? Like
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna try it again. I'm hopeful this time, like, good vibes.
yes, yes. Well, and there's always a difference too. I think people when we're doing makeup, there's a difference of what works for us versus when we're doing
Mhm.
something for a camera and we've got
Yeah, that
harsh
too,
lights
yeah,
on
for
us,
sure.
right?
Mhm.
There's another layer of caking on, like it's gonna be thicker, you're gonna have
Yeah,
more and you gotta make it bigger. Like
exactly.
even with this
And it may
eyeshadow I
look
have on, I'm like,
crazy in person,
gotta go
but, like,
bigger.
it's working in the camera.
Yes, yes. And it changes on the lighting that you have in the space
Mhm.
and or how long, right? Like if it's has to
You're
be an
gonna wear it.
all day thing and you're gonna be outside.
Exactly. That's another thing to decide with certain cosplays too, like,
Mm.
for me, I always go backwards for some reason, end up wearing, like, skimpier cosplays in colder cons, and it just always ends up like a like
Oh yeah.
Rebecca from Cyberpunk came out
Hmm.
right before, Anime NYC last year, and
Yeah.
there was, like, a polar vortex going on, and I'm like, "I love Rebecca."
This
It
is
lasted, like,
worth
an
it.
hour. Yeah, like, this is it. I lasted, like, an hour, absolutely not. So, like, just to, like, keep in, like, "Okay, how long am I gonna wear this? What the
Hmm.
weather is?"
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
Now I'm thinking like, oh, I should do ice climbers or something like that. Like,
Yeah,
give me a
like,
parka.
maybe let me think of a character from a winter theme or art, 'cause it is brick outside, yes.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, there's plenty of choices. Oh, my brain was breaking. Someone who I always thought was easier to do was who's the teacher from My Hero Academia?
Oh, with the scarf?
Yes, yes,
Izawa, I think it is?
yes. But I wouldn't do him with a scarf. I would just be him in the sleeping bag.
Oh, yes, perfect, and I've seen people do that, and it's so and I love, like, those kind of, like I'm bronzing now, by the way. I
Okay.
need to, like,
Yes.
practice this actually.
Yeah. Tell us.
The
Tell us.
bronze
Give us these tutorials.
yes. I've seen people do, like, the sleeping bag cosplay, and those are just always the most like, they're cozy, You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
be comfortable all day,
Mm-hmm.
and they look cool. You get the
Yes.
reference, like, that's smart, yeah.
And you can
You
take
should
a nap anywhere.
exactly, and they do I've seen them, like, just, like,
Yeah.
for, like, an hour just so people pass by and take pictures and stuff. They're just chilling in the corner. So funny.
It's a perfect prep. It's a perfect prep. So, all right, we're doing remind me again. I just forgot her name.
Chun-Li,
Chanli.
yes.
Tell me why. Why her? Why did you pick this one?
I'm a big FGC girl. I
Okay.
love,
Mhm.
fighter game character design. Those were, like, all my first loves, like, I'm very much I'm picking the girl characters because they look hot.
Yeah. And they do. They
Fighter
all do.
and they kick ass, so it's like, yeah, like, this is what I wanted to be when I was a little girl, so, like, of course I'm gonna continue to pick them.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, I love their design, so, like, obviously Chun-Li is one of the most iconic
Mhm.
video game characters in general, but especially like, girl fighters or whatever.
Mhm.
And yeah, I love her, even though I'm not a Street Fighter person. I still me and Chun-Li are still here. I
Yes.
had a little Marvel versus Capcom arc and Chun-Li was there. Like we're
Yeah.
here.
But you're right. She's one of those iconic characters, especially
Mhm.
in the fighting game. Like historically, she's been there
Yeah,
from the
exactly. Like just
beginning.
one of the top
Right.
just in general, like her,
Yes.
Akuma, all those, yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. And her look is iconic. People, even if you don't
Yes.
play video games, you see
You
the
know her.
costume.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yes. I
Me
mean, heck,
too.
I think even what Jackie Chan dressed up as her at one point.
Yeah,
It is
for Halloween. I did see
yes.
that picture. Yeah, it's one of sure, it's one of and I like characters like that because it gets, like, people who aren't into gaming
Mhm.
kind of a bit more, like, involved, especially around, like, Halloween and stuff, like, you'll see someone dress up as an anime character for Halloween and be like, "Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
even know you like anime," and,
Mhm.
like, that whole interaction happens, and yeah, it's like just
Yes.
spreading the fandom. I
Yeah.
love that.
Come, enjoy it, appreciate the art. And I appreciate like you even saying like I'm not a Street Fighter person, but I love the
Mhm.
art. And I think that reminds me of how gamer fans can be fans. Like sometimes we think like the only way to appreciate a game is just to play it and it's like
Yeah.
I can love the art, I can love the
Mhm.
storyline, I can love the work. Like I don't play League, but I love the lore behind all their
Same, me too. I
champions.
love the
Like
lore, like, I love Jinx, like, that's what my
yes.
boyfriend
She
plays, so I'm
looks
like, "Give
so
me
cool.
Jinx!" Yeah, like, and her character design again, the character design in League
Yeah.
is, like, amazing, so it's like those it's I love it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
And
I
all the
totally
skins look
agree.
so fantastic every
Yeah, like,
time.
you really can just be just a fan. Even with me in Tekken, like, that would be the game that, like, I would
Mhm.
compete in if I was to compete ever,
Yeah.
but even that, I'm more just, like, a fan of Tekken, like, I just
Yes.
love the lore, the characters, just the community of the fighting scene, like, that's
Mhm.
just my, like yeah. So
Mhm.
it's like, the people who kind of like, "Oh, well, you're not a real fan," or whatever. It's like, well, I don't know, if I'm putting a little even just a small dose of time into watching a lore video, I think I'm a fan,
Yeah.
like, a person who
Yeah.
doesn't care is not gonna it's
Mhm. Mhm. There's no reason to limit or gatekeep. Like remember, like it's the same thing with music. The more people that enjoy the stuff
right,
that's being created, the more they will make it. You know, like
exactly. They get more supporters, they get
yes.
more fans, yep,
And it's
exactly.
so important to appreciate and recognize that fans of games, video games, can interact and appreciate it in so many different ways.
Mhm.
We're starting to become much more educated in that space. Now, I want to
Yeah.
talk about your medium of art uniquely. So, of course, you are a stylist as well, but sometimes when people think of artists, they think much more traditional
Yeah,
looks and mediums like I painted something or I designed an animation.
right.
What made you want to express yourself through fashion, through clothing, through uh, designing yourself in many ways?
I think actually it goes back to character design.
Yeah.
I started caring, like, consciously as a child caring about clothes.
Hmm.
Well, one, because, like, I we grew up in the Disney Channel era of, like, Lizzie McGuire and That's So Raven, and they just
The
looked
million
amazing.
layers of accessories.
Yeah, and, like, limited to, like obviously, it was like, "Oh, cute," but, like, when it comes to, like, actual, like, fashion design and technical stuff, I started looking at these video game characters and these, like, even Sailor Moon and, like, how they would dress when they were casual and just even just their Sailor Senshi outfits, like, it was like, "This looks cool," like, it was just a different type of design I never saw, like, in person,
Yeah.
obviously because it's drawn, but it definitely because even shows like, Totally Spies. Like, that also like, those shows are what made me go like, "I think I, like, actually really, really like fashion." Like, not
Mhm.
just like, "Ooh, cute."
Yes.
So, yeah, it's funny enough, my fandom and nerdness got me more into fashion, and then I started with, like, the J fashion stuff, so I went
Mhm.
through, like, the Decora phase, the Visual Kei phase, the Garu phase, and then from there, yeah, that was me
Mhm.
all through high school. I went through the emo scene phase, and I
As we all
realized that
should.
what I liked is expressing myself through clothes.
Mhm.
And then I started watching anime, and I was like, "Oh, cosplay's a thing, and
Yeah.
I can express my love for anime through cosplay." So it kinda just kinda circled in, but it all started with cartoons, funny
Yeah.
enough.
I love that though, right? Like that's our bigger exposure. Like I remember kind of
Mhm.
growing up, even though, yeah, there were certain just styles that you saw over and over again.
Yeah,
Like everyone looked like they bought clothes from Kohl's, like from where I was.
yeah.
You're like, it's the Kohl's catalogs through and
Yeah,
through.
I
And
used to, like, be so excited to go to Kohl's with my parents.
yes.
That was, like, a whole thing when they had, like, Avril Lavigne's line there, and I
Yeah.
was like, "But mom." Yes.
but
So, yeah.
it is. It's through all these other forms of media, video games, anime, where we got exposed to one, different cultures, but two, different
Right.
styles and even different colors of like how they
Yeah.
mix and match and what they look like and how we could wear
Mhm.
them and how that tells the story of who we are.
Right, and video games as well, cause like, one of the first video games again, I started with PlayStation 2, so the first
Yeah.
Jak and Daxter. Just, like,
Mm.
the goggles on the
Yep.
head and the baggy pants with the strap. I was just like, "He looks so cool, what the hell?" Like, I love this. And one of my fondest memories is, Final Fantasy, the Advent Children movie.
Mm.
Tifa's black leather outfit.
Yep. Yep.
I was like, "Okay, yeah, no, I like fashion, like, what is this? This is crazy." Like, and it wasn't a costume in their world.
Right.
Like, that's just how they
Mm.
dressed, and I think that's what made me go like, "I wanna create little worlds where I can do this."
Yes. Yes. I love that you pulled that out. It's not a costume in their world. I, honestly, as somebody who's a fan, appreciative of cosplay, I
Mhm.
often look at that and I think I love that it's kind of breaking the mold, like outside of Halloween, right? Is really
Right.
the one time where it feels like it's permission, but cosplayers, like we continue to push and tell that story of like, this is
Mhm.
something we create all the time. And we create it and saying, like, this is how we want to express ourselves.
Yeah, exactly, like, I wish I can walk around dressed like Tifa from Advent Children all the time, like, it's too hot. I mean, like, and it's cool, it's crazy because fashion now is definitely looking to anime and video
Hmm.
games for references and inspiration. So, like, there are people walking around dressed like that all the time regularly now, so that's also kinda cool to see that blend together.
Hmm. Hmm.
Everyone's, like, a little bit alternative, no one's everyone's more willing to express how they really wanna dress themselves up like Avatar or whatever.
Hmm.
So that, like, change is cool because that is not how it was
Yeah.
even, like, 10 years ago at all.
But it's an exploration of
Mhm.
ourselves. And sometimes it feels safer, sometimes doing it in like, I'm going to dress up as Tifa. And then it's like,
Yeah,
oh, I actually really like this look for me.
right. Like, I would wear this, like,
Yes.
I can I get this made? Like, how do I yeah, like, in, like, non-plastic material.
Yeah. Yes. Where it's a little more comfortable to move in and I don't
Right.
squeak all the time.
Exactly, literally. So it's like, yeah, like, I would like, that's what made me go like, "Okay," like and then I started, like, finding brands who kind of look towards those things for inspiration and seeing that, like, okay, like, people do make these clothes, people are dressing like that.
Hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopped into that world.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do we do? We got eyeshadow on, beautiful
Yeah, we
blue,
got the blue
matches her
eyeshadow.
outfit.
I'm going to add a little gold line thingy, and I'm very bad at this, so we're gonna see how that goes. So, because it's the blue and the gold, and
Yes.
then I'll, like, get into the outfit.
Okay. We're watching to learn technique. Okay, good. You pull your eye too. I do too. I was like, how do I make
Mhm.
it straight?
I'm gonna start at the top, and I know it's still gonna smudge. Oh, it didn't smudge! Ooh, okay. Now I know where to do it at. I'm
Okay.
like
So
oh,
when you're creating and like mimicking these looks, is it easier to have like reference photos that you have up to like, okay, how am I mirroring
yeah,
this?
definitely, like you wanna get a good amount of reference photos too, because sometimes you'll look at one and then not find out that something was like the wrong color in that one photo until the day of the con
Yeah. Like, dang
or
it.
something like that. Yeah, they're like, damn it. So, but yeah, reference photos you definitely want to like Google. Try and stay away from fan art if you can. Like for most video games, they have the exact
Mm-hmm.
references if you're just trying to get all the little details.
Mm-hmm.
But or you can actually like, ask the artist first, but you can cosplay, a fan art version of something and things like that.
Yeah.
Like Bowsette, how Bowsette like blew up and stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, reference photos are definitely important and don't forget to not look at them only once.
Go from memory. I got
Yeah,
this.
it's like, I got it. And then you're working for like a week and then you look at it again, you're like, oh. Yeah.
A
All
week
of my like I'm
gone.
helping you guys avoid all the mistakes that I've made.
Isn't that how we learn though? You're like, after you make the
Right.
mistake, you're like, okay, now
Mhm.
I will never do this again.
It's especially in cosplay. When it comes to cosplay, because again, we're making things that like don't really exist a lot of times. So like
Yeah.
props, like these big crazy guns.
Hmm.
You have to fail to find a way to see if it's even possible. Like you'll find a weird
Mm,
way to make it work for yourself by like burning yourself with hot glue accidentally, but then like
yeah.
seeing that it makes a bubble or something stupid like that. Like you have to make these little mistakes, cutting something weird, and but then now you know how to like do a zigzag cut or just
Hmm.
little things you're like, "Oh, okay, like I can apply that next time."
I feel like you gave us a life lesson there of you have to fail to see if it's even possible.
Mhm, mhm.
I love that. I feel like I'm gonna find that in a fortune cookie someday,
Yes,
right?
right.
Like, but
I
it's
have tools.
but we're so afraid of failure, right? And putting ourselves out there and then not having it succeed. Like
Yep,
that's the frustrating part where you're looking
yep,
at like, and that's the first hurdle, right? That you
yep.
want to, or it's the first wall that you hit, and it's like, do I want to continue?
And especially in this content creator space,
Mm-hmm.
again, especially after the like Panini pandemic boom,
Yeah.
like a lot of people started, went full throttle in 2020, didn't see fruits of their labor,
Mm-hmm.
and then like quit or like got upset or like said, "Oh, I'm not good enough" and stuff. It's like, no, like you gotta fail a lot of times before you kind of get your thing.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work the same for everyone. Not everyone just like pops. I've been cosplaying for 10 years and I still don't think I'm like where I want to be for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
So it's like you really have to like fail and try and try new things and not everything is always going to hit like but you have to realize okay, so that didn't hit. All right, so I know y'all, like that's how
Regret.
you figure it out exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But that takes a little more of that mental strength of being ready and
Oh
willing to handle those.
yeah. Mhm.
How did you
Definitely.
develop
It's
that
not
kind of
easy.
approach? How did you go
I
like when that first failure hit? How do you go like that's okay. I can keep going.
I definitely, sulked about it, like, let it, like, within your inner,
Mhm.
just
Embrace the
let it out,
emotion.
like yeah, like, it's gonna hurt, like, when you put a lot of effort into something and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is good," especially if you're, like, already in the mindset where it's like, "Oh, this is great, this is gonna do so good," or something like that. It's like, 1, I stopped doing that, like,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Okay, fair.
Don't do that. Like, have good expectations, but,
Mhm.
just put out stuff that you're proud of either way. I think that's kinda how I stopped feeling like, "Oh, that didn't do well," because I realized a lot of the things that was happening to was things that I was kind of rushing to put out or something I kinda just threw together.
Mhm.
So, I realized if I put out something that I'm, like, super proud of
Yeah.
every time, even if it doesn't do well, I'll feel like, "Okay, like, I still like it," like, my true core fans or whatever still like it, like, yeah, like,
Mhm.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, I did that for me
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yes.
So, it's like, if you keep putting out content for yourself that you wanna share with people versus just for people,
Mhm.
then you'll start to, like, not feel like, oh, every time because
Yeah.
the algorithm is a bitch and it's never going to like, like, you're always gonna feel that way if you start
Yep.
feeling that way. Like,
Yep.
it really some things are not gonna do well. That's just how
Mhm. The algorithm is not there to be your friend.
yeah, like, absolutely
Yes.
not. It's definitely going to throw you around, toss you
Yeah.
down, leave you down for
Yeah.
most of the time,
Yeah.
and then toss you back up random like,
Yeah.
you never know.
One time though, real happy, you're like, "Oh, this is great." And then it'll
Yeah,
drop you
and then
again.
and it usually the big drop happens right after the peak. It's like something's doing really, really well. Oh my god, yay! And then it's like crickets for like a month or two, and then you're like, I hate
What did
everything.
I
But
do? How do I make you
yeah, it's like, what did I
happy?
do? You guys hate me. People start unfollowing you. Like it's crazy. But then you like take yourself back. You're like, okay,
Hmm.
I still like what I put out.
Yeah.
I know I worked hard on it. I know this is like a good thing that I like, that people that I care about like yeah. So
Hmm.
I think that's the only way to do it, because otherwise it's just agonizing. It's agonizing
Yes.
playing that game.
Yes. It hurts. It hurts.
Mhm.
So you're in your cosplay process and you're filling yourself with positivity and good expectations. We're working
Yes.
on the makeup now. So we've got,
Yes.
are the eyes done? They're beautiful. I
Yes.
see the gold on the top.
Yeah, the eyes are done. I think I'm just going to add mascara and then hop into my mom's texting me. Well, hop into my the jumpsuit,
Okay.
and then probably like take a break and then do the hair.
Okay.
Like
All right.
toward then. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
So, out of the many cosplays that you've done, what has been one of your favorites that you're like, I nailed it, or I'm so excited, I love this character,
Mhm.
right? Because we always have like, there's this piece where like, you want to try to create it, and then it turns out
Right.
exactly as you planned. What's been a highlight for you?
For me, definitely Master Raven from Tekken. The first time I saw her character design, I was like, it was like a pipe dream because she looks so technical, and it's like I wouldn't even know where to begin with this.
Hmm.
But that was like also when I first started cosplaying, so like I wouldn't have known where to begin with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I found someone who could print the suit with the skin in my tone, like in my skin tone, so it like matched perfectly but still looked like it
Hmm.
was me wearing her armor.
Hmm.
And yeah, and then I like
Perfect.
I put in like some faux locks, and I just felt, I was like, yes. So I made the little armor bits. It was I think once I made like the shoulder armor, I was like, yeah,
Coming
like this,
together.
yeah. I was like really excited about that. And then funny enough with that too, it's now super special to me because I had reposted it on Twitter like 3 years after I first did it.
Yeah.
Just randomly, just I haven't, repost. And then someone tagged Harada from Tekken, and he retweeted. He was like, "Oh yeah, this looks really cool." And I was like, "Yeah!" Like I had like did that cosplay
Screenshot
with
it, save it.
yeah. Yeah, literally, it's like pinned on my Instagram. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm
Yeah.
obsessed about that. That was like definitely a like, yeah, let's go. Um, and then again, that was something that also showed me that like I'm doing okay in this cosplay thing. Like
Yes.
it was like a nice validating moment.
Hmm.
That, and I guess my Nessa cosplay from Pokemon,
Yes.
because I did it really quick. I found someone who like made the shorts, and it was important. It was like an important cosplay for me as well, because when the Nessa design dropped,
Hmm.
there was like all these racists on like online in general that were just so mad that a Pokemon gym leader that doesn't exist was black for whatever reason. Like it was just a very weird hate.
Hmm.
So a lot of the cosplay girls were like, "Oh, I'm gonna cosplay this
Yeah.
person. Like
You're
you
like,
guys are going to
you're
stay
gonna
mad."
see
Yeah,
her everywhere.
like, this is it. It felt good to get, like, that representation of, like, okay, like, I see myself in the Pokemon games now, and that's really cool. So,
Hmm.
that was, like, important one for me. And, like, Cosplay Realm magazine, I don't know if they're still around, but they had chose it to be, like, the cover for one of their Nintendo issues. So I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
yay, like,
Yeah.
we did it."
We
So I
fight
was like,
back
"That's
with art.
definitely." Yes, exactly. I was like, "That's definitely a highlight." Those are my 2, like, okay, like, I feel I did it, I did it.
Yes, yes. No, I love that. And I like the excitement you bring around, like when you talk about them and why you choose them and what it means for you, but
Mhm.
also even beyond, right? Like when you talk about Nessa, like what it means for the community, what it means for us telling narratives and what characters we want to highlight. Like even when we choose villains, right? There's still something to say, like this character resonated with me. Like I like their power. Maybe they look fucking awesome every single
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
so there's so many different levels to say like this is how we want this to be brought to life. Now, Nessa, of course, was really interesting because it unfortunately did. It brought out within the
Mhm.
Pokemon community and even the greater community
Yeah, just the fan art world, just
Yes.
a lot was going on, and I was like,
Yes.
"Y'all, this is a cartoon, this is crazy." Everyone's like, "Hello."
And it got heated, and it's
Mhm.
that weird thing that sometimes we forget art is not its own separate thing. Like, it still is attached to the conversations that we see in real life and the
Yep.
challenges and I mean the hate,
Yep.
unfortunately, of what
Mhm.
it is. So for a cosplayer, for you, what does it mean to use your art to kind of combat or tell the narratives that you think should not even just reflect but permeate and influence the greater world?
That's, like, definitely one of my core values as a cosplayer. Because when I started, there was not nearly even half the amount of Black cosplayers that there are, like, online now and just
Mm.
doing it and being, like, unapologetic, not afraid to post and just share and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have this community when back then, it was very, like, far and few, and it felt good to kind of bring more characters to life, and not only just Black characters, just any characters. Because then
Mhm.
there was this thing, not even was, it still is this thing online where if you cosplay a character that isn't Black, you get all those comments and stuff, and it's like, we're not gonna stop cosplaying these characters, like,
Yeah.
that's not how that's gonna work. Like, we're going to continue, like, as long as no one is doing blackface or, like, lightening their
Yeah.
tone to, like, revise for like, just everyone can cosplay whatever they
Mhm.
want. These are all characters. These are
Yes.
all cartoons.
Mhm.
Even, like, live action shows, like, I've seen people maybe cosplay a character from, like, Lord of the Rings or, Harry Potter, and then,
Yeah.
like, people will cosplay Hermione, and everyone would lose their mind online, and it's just
Well, if you left it as is, it's not like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings has a lot of skin tone
exactly.
options.
Exactly, which is what a lot of the reversal that we always say at these comments is like, "Well, you guys just want me to cosplay who? Yoruichi,
Yeah.
like Master Ra like just the standard Black anime characters or video game characters." It's like, we're much more than that. Like, we can
Yes.
cosplay whoever we want. Like,
Mhm.
so it's nice to see the community take that and more people see that people are cosplaying whoever they want, and that's how a lot of people go, "Oh, I'm gonna try this. Oh, I wanna do this. Oh, I never thought I could cosplay so and so." I've seen that comment all the time. "I never thought I could cosplay so and so. I never thought I could." So it's like, it's
Yeah.
nice to be like, "Yeah, like, come join us. We will protect you."
Yeah.
Like, pull up. Like,
But
the cosplay world is crazy, but one thing about, like, the POC cosplay corner, it's like
mhm.
we because we go through it,
Yeah.
like, we're very that's not flying over here. Like, take that wherever, Reddit, wherever you wanna take it. That's not coming that's not happening over here.
Yes. Well, and that's such an important part because one, it's so good to have community because there are people out there who are unkind, right? And on top of it, there's something wonderful for anyone to be able to cosplay as these characters because it's a resemblance to say that their story resonates with me.
Mhm.
I want to bring that to life. And it's not, the separations of some of the visual aspects that we create, but there's
Right.
beyond that of the humanity and aspects that I see
Exactly.
myself in what they do. Yes.
Which is how they got the term, like, cosplay is not canon. Like, there's even, like,
Yeah.
issues with, like, bigger people cosplaying a character that may it's like, no, like, they're not just gonna cosplay bigger characters just because 'cause they're like, it's crazy. It's like
Yeah.
anyone it's like we're here to celebrate our fandoms. We're all playing dress up.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
everyone, let's just calm down, and it's but they're elitists and racist and people who are just, weird with other people's body types. It's just it's or, like, trying to police them. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
Well, and I think that's the hardest critique.
Mhm.
And I hope that you haven't had to deal with this too much, but I think it's easy to say that, yeah, you've had to probably defend yourself
Oh, yeah.
in the
Mhm.
cosplays, which is ridiculous when there's so many other like, yeah, cis, white
Mhm.
performers, creators who can just post and people are like, that's art, that's pretty. And the no
Yep.
comments, no,
Yep,
no
and
issues,
that
no
was
issues.
that was definitely the rebuttal a lot of other Black cosplayers gave too. It's like, well,
Yeah.
like, one of the comments would be like, "Oh, you're not Japanese," or "You're not Japanese." It's like, well,
Yeah.
these cosplayers aren't Japanese, and you guys are under their comments saying
Yeah.
that, so what's really the tea? Like,
Yeah.
like, so it's like, say what you mean. Like, well, I'm very much like that. Not all creators like that. I, again, am from Brooklyn, and will like, say it with your chest,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
so I can come for you. It's
Like,
fun
it
sometimes, but
is.
mostly just ignore them, block them, like, don't
Yeah.
let a bad comment deter you from doing something that you love and just celebrating a fandom that you like.
Now, on the flip side of that, like, there's got to be times where you see comments from people like the artists themselves or creators
Mhm.
themselves who are like, yes, that's great
Yes,
art. And you're like,
yes,
I
yes,
feel
yes.
seen. What is it like to
Yes,
actually
yes.
see like the comments come in on Instagram or wherever, or even in person,
Mhm,
right? What
mhm.
is that feeling like where your art is appreciated?
Right. It's like, yeah, it's like the Tekken Harada situation where it's like the creator of Tekken just retweeted my cosplay, and I'm like, "Ah," like, it's crazy, and especially because, like, Tekken's my favorite fighting game, Tekken, so it's like, it was
Mhm.
very special, and it makes you feel like, "Okay," like, I don't care what you, because now, I mean, well, one, the character is black, but, like, either way, I'd be like, "I don't care what you said, Harada liked it." So,
Yeah.
it's like, it gives you that kind of, like, I feel good, and I see, like, my friends, like, voice actors will,
Mhm.
like, retweet their stuff or comment and say, "Great job," and stuff, and it makes them feel amazing,
Yeah.
so that's always nice to see, like, the creators themselves or the people who made the game or however, the game company, like Square Enix retweeting something and things like that, like, that's always nice.
Yes, yes. I think that just reminds it for all of us non-cosplayers out there, right? Like when we comment, like, does it actually have an impact, right?
Oh,
At the
yeah.
end of the day.
It definitely does, because if you don't comment, you will definitely feel that. You'll
Yeah.
be like, "Wait, that no one is saying anything, hold
Yeah.
on." Yeah,
Share
it
the
definitely
love.
makes it like we take it to our, and that's why, like, the negative comments, even when it's not just, like, racist comments, even when it's like, "Well, you're not the same size," or, like, "Your hair color is wrong," or "You missed
Mhm.
something," or "Your
She
scar
actually
is on
has
the
a
left
pouch on the
eye."
side. Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's like, those comments do, we're human, they definitely sting.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, I put something on the wrong side, someone comments and you're like, "Damn it," like,
Yeah.
obviously, but also, you're not a cosplayer, that was not one, I can't do anything about it now, the picture's already up,
Yeah.
why even bother, it's still negative,
Yeah.
but you kinda have to tune them out.
Yeah. Just breathe. Just breathe
Yeah, literally.
because it's
I
hard.
can
Mhm.
step into Chun-Li
Yes.
in, like, 2 minutes, if that works. Is
Go
that
for it.
okay?
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll be back.
So I'll catch up with chat here. Yorichi was the first cosplay that you saw Chibi in, right? Like I loved looking through Chibi's Insta and just seeing all of the variety, the impressive characters and their facial expressions, the colors, the textures, just beautiful every single time. Like I know I've been describing this as art, but that's because I view it. It's very much a visual performance that is so wonderful to take in. I love being an audience in this. Zuko cosplayers beware. Zuko is hard and people will get fussy about like how good is the burn mark, and that's hard to do. First of all, I would be the person who would put it on the wrong side of the face. And you have to think like if I flip the photo at all, is it gonna look like it's also on the wrong place if I do any editing? To if I pose a little weird and I think like, oh, if I flip it, it'll look a little more natural. Now the freaking stuff is on the wrong side and people will call you out. Right? It's that weird balance as a creator and thinking about where it's going to exist, how are people going to react, especially as you build it on such a social platform, right? On platforms where, in order to survive, you have to continue to get engagement and continue to get people to interact with your posts, to like them, to share them, right? Oh, and even just the makeup component. Oh, I agree, Scrib. When they can do makeup alone, that's hard. Even doing like, that beautiful blue, which first of all, great choice. I would go there and be like, I don't know what blues work well. Some eyeshadow works better than others, and I'm like, I don't know how to pick it. And then to do the smooth gold lines, look at you. We were just
Oh, yeah.
talking and complimenting about quality of makeup and how to like make it work. Oh dang, full look. In the short camera span, you're like
Yeah,
with
I
the
know, I'm
leaves,
like,
like I'm all here.
yes. Thank you. It's super comfortable, it's just the material of a lot of these, like, pre-made, cosplays are
Yeah.
so hot, it's always
Yeah.
so hot.
Yeah.
But I'll, like, do the wig part in, like,
Yeah.
15 minutes or so. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that works.
But we'll take a breather in a hot minute.
Yeah.
I love this. So talk to me, especially as somebody who knows good clothing, good materials? What is it like to shop and find good cosplays, right? So you do some where you make it, some where you
Yeah,
buy, right? Like that's a
yeah.
really nice mix and match and recognizing what
Mhm.
you want to make and what you're like, listen, I know somebody.
Exactly. 'Cause it's like, it would be nice to be able to, like, make everything, but sometimes it's like by the time you finish buy maybe 4 yards of fabric for something or and then, like, maybe buttons or jewels or whatever you need,
Yeah.
it's, like, over $60, and then now cosplays are about that much, so it's like, "Okay, I'm buying all these materials, and the materials cost the exact same amount. Do I still wanna put in" you have to pay yourself for your time that you work on it.
Yeah.
Um, when I started cosplaying, to be able to g that so the Advent Children Tifa's look is a good example. That cosplay did not exist. I was, like,
Where is it
4th
somewhere?
this is maybe 2000, like, 9,
Yeah.
10 maybe? Yeah, that cosplay didn't exist, and I also was just, like, just starting out, so I didn't just like, I was just more so for me, cosplay was all you make it, because all of these, fast fashion cosplays, which what they actually are,
Mhm.
um, didn't exist, like, that
Yeah.
wasn't even a concept. So, it's like, if you wanted to if you wanted to do a character, most likely you would have to make it if unless it was Sailor Moon, even Chun-Li, like,
Yeah.
those iconic characters, of course, you can find that at, like, Party City, Spirit, you can find those.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that Tifa outfit was just not a thing, and then in, like, maybe, like, 2017, 2018, it's just like, it just
Yeah.
pops up, and you're like or, like, the Space Channel 5, Ooh La La,
Mhm.
that outfit did not exist
Yeah.
back then, you definitely had to make that, but now you can get it for, like, $70, $60, like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That is, like, one of the biggest changes within the cosplay community, and it definitely affects just like the community in general because now there's like a lower entry level to start cosplaying. You don't have
Mhm.
to make your cosplays, which is great because we have more cosplayers.
Yeah.
But it also promotes like again, it's the fast fashion thing where people are just wearing their cosplay, taking a picture in it once, don't like never
Mhm.
wearing it again. Everything's so cheap and fast and
Mhm.
so it's hard. But in terms of like quality, you kind of just have to like go for it
Yeah.
and then either not go for it there again
Yeah.
or, like, someti or, like, definitely do reviews. I trust, like, Miku costumes are really good across the board,
Mhm.
Das Cos, I haven't had a problem with them, so it's, like, definitely
Mhm.
see where other people are getting their cosplays from. Amazon as well has a way bigger selection than they ever have,
Yeah.
and you can see the reviews there from real people.
Mhm.
Oh, try and get things that have reviews, especially if you're going on, like, AliExpress and those kind of stores,
Mhm.
but definitely decide on if it's worth it to
Yeah.
make it. I have wasted a lot of just time and effort just to get frustrated and just buy
Yeah.
like, because we wanna put ourselves into it and make it, but it's definitely not easy since sometimes, like, you think you can do something and it doesn't work out or the time management stuff, so,
Mhm.
yeah, make those decisions so you save money and time.
Yes. Well, and I appreciate that because sometimes that is a barrier to entry of like, I want to cosplay, but I don't have time to
Yeah,
learn how to sew, much less than
right,
make it, right? Or
exactly.
I don't
So you
know.
get overwhelmed. Mhm.
Yes, yes, of where to begin. And so I
Mhm.
think that's good. I'm also glad you mentioned a little bit on that the ethics of it, like because
Mhm.
there's always that challenge. And I think any of us, especially any of us who are middle class and down, right? We know
Right.
the challenge of saying like, yes, I would like to not do fast fashion, but at the
Yeah, of
same time,
course.
like that's all
It
that's available to me.
like, it's just, like, especially with, like, sizes and just
Yes.
options,
Yeah.
it's hard, it
Yeah.
definitely is hard, and even, like, with my fashion side of things, that's always, like, again, that, like, nuance to it. You wanna do your part by because
Mhm.
there's, like, 2 sides of that argument, and they're both very extreme. The
Yeah.
very, like, thrift everything, make everything,
Yeah.
like, not everyone has the time, money, or opportunity to do any of those 3 things.
Hmm.
And then there's, like, the people who are just, like, they're buying fast fashion by the truckload, they're doing those huge hauls.
Yeah.
So you have to, like, find your middle ground and do your part. It's kinda like the plastic straw thing, like,
Yeah.
if you can, yes, use a metal straw.
Yeah.
But if you use a plastic straw, you yourself, you're one person is not exactly killing everything, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to do your part, and if you're consciously shopping all the time, especially
Mhm.
now that there's a shop tab on every single social media website.
You never have to leave Instagram.
That's going to be such a problem, like,
Yeah.
such a problem, because it's just growing, like, fast fashion, like, we see that it's a problem,
Yeah.
but we're just making it faster
Yes.
and, like, as fast as it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yes, yes. But that's such a smart and very nuanced answer, right? In recognizing where we are because I always wondered as the cosplay community, like as a whole, somebody who wants wishes and admires all of it, is it intimidating or are there barriers where some people do have that mentality of like you have to make it all from
Oh,
scratch?
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
we call them elitists where they're very, like, they'll even, like, even if you make it from scratch and it's not like and you'd, like, made it from with, like, hot glue instead of hand stitch, they'll, like, turn their nose up at you kind of thing. To be fair, they're not as rampant as
Okay.
they were
Mhm.
because there's just so much more people
Yeah.
cosplaying, so much more, like, younger people getting into it fast, like,
Mhm.
it's just so easy now to cosplay, like, you can get a Jinx from League cosplay in, like, 2 days to your doorstep, it's
Yeah.
absolutely insane,
Yeah.
and then, like, the props are ready made, it's so easy, but there definitely are still people who are like, you know, "Oh, you make you just buy everything or whatever,"
Mhm.
but I think there's place like, time and place for everything. If you're entering a competition, obviously, you should be making everything.
Yeah.
If you are judging a competition, most of your stuff should be, like, handmade, and those are the things that's when I feel like we should be like, "Okay, like, this is about the skill of the art, not
Yeah.
necessarily just, like, the art and the
Yes.
visuals."
Mhm.
But cosplay has definitely shifted away from the crafting skill maker aspect that it was,
Mhm.
even with, like, foam smithing like, foam smiths and stuff, and it definitely has gone way more mainstream, which, again, is cool,
Yeah.
but it's a double-edged sword,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
Well, what
definitely
I'm
dilutes the art and of it and the fun of the
yes.
crafting. Like, even me, especially during the pandemic, I felt like I
Mhm.
didn't have time to make anything, which is
Mhm.
crazy. You're like, "You're just dressing up. What do you mean you don't have time to make anything?" It's like, "I don't." Like,
Yeah.
this person just did, like, 5 cosplays. Like, I did like, like, we
Yes.
used to spend the whole year making 1 cosplay for 1 con.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's, like, unheard of now.
Yeah. And then they're like, okay, I've got 3 cons, so I'm gonna do one different outfit for all 3 days.
Yeah,
So
and,
I'm gonna
like,
have to
and
have
then, like
15 looks, you know?
right, and
Like,
then each day I'm gonna do 2 cosplays, and
yeah.
then 1 in the morning, 1 at night, and it's like, I used to do that, I still do that for some cons, but it's like you do it to, again, your capability, like,
Yes.
don't push yourself to, because I definitely have seen people push themselves and wear, like, 6 looks a day at a con, and it's like, are you even
6.
at the con at that point, or are you
6.
just, like, upstairs changing, like, it's crazy.
Breathe. Breathe.
Right,
Breathe.
like, everyone just
But I appreciate that as cosplay's gotten bigger, there's almost like small niches. Like everybody can cosplay. There's kind of like there's so many different types of goth, right?
Yes, exactly, yes, especially now that oh, there's so many different
Yes. Yeah. But that's
like, definitely, like
that's a good thing that each person
yes,
like
and now
it's not
there's
just like here's the one weirdo who does this on their
yeah,
own. There's small communities within.
mhm, and there's, like, closet cosplay, casual cosplay, like,
Mhm.
now you can cosplay your own original character if you want to, like,
Yes.
you can make something a bunny version, like, we talked about mashups and stuff, like,
Yeah.
it's really easy to kinda just, again, cosplay your way, like,
Yeah.
cosplay however you feel. Sometimes you may not wanna do armor, sometimes I'll just put on bunny ears and that person's now, like,
Yeah.
Bunny Sailor Moon, I don't know,
Yeah.
like, it's
But
that's
it is
just
done.
exactly.
Can you remind me because when you said closet cosplay, I know what this is, but I can't remember. All I'm thinking of is a secret cosplayer who doesn't want to tell their parents.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
know that's not
That's
it.
actually funny, yeah, and it's funny because most closet cosplayers are like, they don't go to cons kind
Yeah.
of thing, like, they're very like, "I just cosplay in my room and post it on Instagram."
Yeah.
But no, that basically means just, like, you're cosplaying, but you're only using the things that you, like, already have in your closet.
Okay.
You're just using, like, everyday clothes, like,
Mhm.
if you're doing Luffy, you'll probably just get, like, a cute red crop top and some shorts, like, that would be a closet cosplay technically, because it's
Yeah.
not, like, his red vest and the long shorts with the fur, like, you didn't
Yeah.
do the full thing.
It's similar.
And
Like you can echo and see
right.
the color blocking.
Yeah, exactly, or,
Okay.
like and now we have, like, cosplay fashion is pretty big where people are, like, styling their outfits to specific characters that's like taking over everyone's timelines, and which I'm happy about
Yeah.
because again, never thought I'd see that back
Yeah.
then. That was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
hype dreams, right? So it is nice because again, it lets people like younger kids, people who don't even have money to get a small cosplay on Amazon, just go in their like not feel weird about going in their closet and going, okay, like the character's wearing a blue shirt, got that, cool, like I
Yeah.
could put my hair in pigtails. Yeah, like it
Mm-hmm.
makes it less it makes it more chill, which again, we're all playing dress up, so like it should have always been chill, but it definitely became like a thing
Yeah.
when that's where the elitists came in and you have to make your cosplay to be a cosplayer, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, whoa.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a cartoon.
Let's make this more spacious, right?
Yeah,
A lot more
like
options here.
mhm. No, it's nice. It's nice to see like closet cosplay. There's like makeup cosplayers who only kind of like do like face paint stuff and
Mm-hmm.
or they do body paint and face paint and that's how they cosplay. So all you really need is the face paint and the body paint and you can do whoever, and as long as we're like, oh, okay, I see, so that works,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's not this like, I don't know how to sew, I don't know how to make armor, I don't know how to, you know.
Yeah. It's not like you don't see painters going to sketch artists and be like, that's not art. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
exactly. Exactly. There's exactly just like art, just like that. There's
hmm
different types, different mediums, different ways you can do it. There's some people who like crochet all their cosplays
Wow.
themselves or like perler beads. I've seen people do full cosplays with the perler beads just
Oh my
like these.
gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
these beads, like I've seen people do like 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 say this is a tie but like an entire shirt and like wings and a weapon. It's crazy. So it's cool to see people come up with stuff like that
Yeah.
because I'll be at a con like,
Yeah.
what? Like, how'd you even think of that? Like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I see script. How do you make clothing out of perler beads? Like how does
No,
it
it's
move?
crazy. Like, as long as you have the pattern,
Yeah.
you can, because they fuse together. So as long as you have the pattern, they can be 3D. Like, I've seen armor, I've seen weapons. Like, this is an axe kind of thing. Like, it's crazy. But it's cool too, because again, I would never think of that. And now
Yeah.
maybe there's a weapon that I think will look cool with perler beads. And now I can be like, okay, like
Mhm.
now I know I can use that material
Yeah.
for cosplay. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of different materials out for cosplay now too. So it
Mhm.
makes it again easier to get into it
Yes.
and try new things.
How creative and how just wild to think of all the different ways that people have created their work and envisioned theirs. So, where are we at now with your look? What's the next
Yes.
step?
The next step will be my hair, which will be like 5 minutes off camera though.
Okay. Let's
Yeah.
go ahead and prime that then. We'll go ahead and take our
Cool.
5-minute
Oh
BRB
yes, fine.
break. All right, we'll take a
Yes.
breather. You're gonna do your hair, get some water, stretch a
Yeah.
little bit. In five
Mhm.
minutes, we're gonna come back, and if you need an extra minute, I'll just say hello to
Oh
everyone.
yeah, of course. Thank ya.
So,
Okay,
friends, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Get your water, stretch your legs, and we'll see the transformation as it continues from Chibi. I'll see you all soon. Hello, 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 and welcome back, my kind and amazing friends. I hope you're doing well. We are in the middle of our Get Ready With Me stream with Chibith0t as we dive into the beautiful world of cosplay, the art, the challenges. And I just am enjoying this, seeing the actual process of going through and creating, hearing, and thinking about the thoughts that we go through. And of course, the overall performance. Dang! Here we go. Here we go. All right. I love it. I love it. Now, I can't hear you. So maybe we're secret mode still. Slay indeed. Absolutely. 10 out of 10. Perhaps Ping has decided to change your mic again. I love a good secret. This will quickly turn into a charade show. You act it out and I will try to guess. Oh.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So now they made me switch it back to the other. It's so funny.
It's just temperamental. It's temperamental.
Yes.
But your hair is fantastic. We're seeing the
Thank
iconic
you.
buns here in
Yes.
place. Dang.
This is the better bun.
Okay. Well, and that's like, there's always one that's better. Like, same with when I do my
Oh,
eyebrows, there's one eyebrow that's always better. So
that's me with my eyeliner. Like, it will never be like, and then you know when like you do it really perfect,
yes.
and that's how you know you're really screwed because
Yep.
you just like, oh, I'm not even gonna
Mhm.
get close to this on the other side.
Nope. You're like,
Oh, it's so funny.
so
But yes, I love this cosplay too because like again, I would wear this. Like, you know,
yeah.
like I would definitely rock this. So I
Yes.
feel like
Please tell me you go to
stuff
the
like
gym and
this.
work out in this.
Yeah, like it's
Please.
and it's her like training thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I
I'd
love
feel
it.
much more in like fighting, like I gotta push to my final limits if I were dressed how you were right now.
Exactly. That's another thing about like cosplay too. Like sometimes like especially me, like I
Mhm.
cosplay a lot of like powerful girl cosplays and it's like I like to channel that energy when I
Yes.
like dress up like them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Cute.
Gotcha.
Perfect bow. Nailed
Yes.
it.
I was
Nailed it. But it
like
is. There's something that's empowering. Like when we cosplay, we get to steal a little bit of their power, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
this is
Definitely
now
one of
me.
my like favorite things. I love it. Cause I'm walking around with Master Raven, I'm wearing the big boots, and I'm
Yeah,
just like, yeah,
this
mess
is
with
me.
me, I dare you.
Kick ass. Yeah.
Or
But
like
that's,
Starfire, like you
oh,
just feel so like,
mm-hmm.
huh, like I love it.
If we had their powers, it would
Right.
be
And I always
unstoppable.
say, if like you ever need just a confidence boost,
Yeah.
like don't wait for Halloween.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just do it in your room.
For
Like
you. For you. The closet
yeah,
cosplay
just
in
do it
my
for
brain.
you. Yeah, this one's crazy, but it's nice. We got the hanging and the
Yes.
non-hanging. Like
That's
we
true. We have the imbalance, but we love some
yes.
asymmetry too, and how she's often depicted with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Perfect. So
but yeah,
cute.
I like this cosplay a lot.
Mhm.
Again, it's just the material sucks. But
Well, talk to us. So, for those of us outside of the cosplay world, you
yes.
have so many different materials
Mhm.
that are at your disposal. And cosplayers are notorious for being really creative, of like
Oh yeah.
using unusual objects. For you,
Yep.
what are your go-to materials that you like to work with?
So when it comes to making armor and stuff like that,
Mhm.
definitely it's called EVA foam.
Okay.
So that's just the foam that like is the gym mat foam, that like
Yes.
squishy, spongy foam. That's what like a lot of armor like wear. So like your League of Legend cosplayers, your
Mm,
World of World can't talk.
those
Wow.
wow.
Your WoW cosplayers. They like and your Overwatch cosplayers, like those
Yeah.
like big bulky that's gonna be made most of the time from a mixture of EVA foam and this thing we call Warbler, which
Mhm.
is basically just like meltable plastic, and
Yes.
you use that to kind of harden the EVA foam, make it smooth, it's less spongy and
Mhm.
paints better, primes better. But now there's like 3D printing and there's just all of these different like people a lot of people just 3D print all their props now, which is super cool by the way, because I'm like, again, future.
Yes. Honestly, that sounds so much easier. I
Mhm.
have a roll of Warbler and I've made a few things and then I cursed at a lot of
Oh,
things.
yeah, Warblood's gonna have you do that, like,
Yeah.
it's definitely going to make you upset more times than none, but
Yes.
it's something that, again, you have to fail with, like,
Yeah.
you have to 100% get just you wanna throw it, you never wanna
Yes.
touch it again,
Yes.
and that's where the breakthrough comes, like, that's 1000% where the breakthrough comes, you're like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I know how I'm gonna use this."
But that's why I've been loving some of these new evolutions, like the 3D printing. Like I
Mhm.
tried to do Loki's horns once, and I had to be
Oh, yeah.
creative with my pictures because they were not at the same angle, right?
Oh,
Like
see?
I was like, one is a
Yeah, you're
little
like, "Okay,
bigger than the
take it
other.
from this side." Oh, yeah, so you're that's cosplayer one-on-one right there, you're perfect, because that's definitely you're telling the photographer, you're like, "No, take it
Just
from this angle because the
yeah.
back's falling off."
Yes, yeah, like, just don't look that way.
Yeah,
It's
just
fine. It's fine.
mhm.
But with 3D printing, you get to be much more exact.
Yes, and I'm
Yeah.
excited to dive into that because I bought one last year for Black Friday,
Yeah.
and then my life started lifing very hard, and I
Dang
haven't
it.
touched it yet, and there's so many and it's cool because you can just go on Etsy and get the print,
Yeah.
so I really wanna make Guts's, sword, big
Mm.
old slab of iron sword, and just,
Yes.
like it's just like, helmets and things like that that I, like, suck at making personally, I'm like, "It would be so much easier."
Yes. Well, when they have
And
to
the
have that
file's right
perfect
there.
shape to it.
Yeah, it's, like, like, I'm really excited. I hear
Yeah.
the sanding part is sucky, but, like, I'll trade that because working with foam and
Mhm.
it not doing what you want it to do
Yeah.
is a different type of stress.
Yes. Plus, you can sand while watching your favorite anime, so
Yes, exactly,
you
exactly,
can't
which
work
is
with
definitely
Warbler
very
and watch
important.
TV. You
No,
just
you can't. You need total concentration so you can curse out
yeah,
loud.
yeah. Starts bubbling. Dang it, I had left the heat gun on it too long.
Literally, yes.
Now
But it's yeah, all these materials are really cool, and then
yeah.
again, you see, like, unconventional things like perler beads, and people use cardboard a lot for, like, their bases,
Mhm.
PVC pipes for swords, one of the craziest things I used was, like, plastic spoons. So I had to make, like, a chainmail outfit, it's like a
Yeah.
character from, One Piece, Rebecca,
I'm not that
and
far in
she
One
has, like,
Piece
a
yet.
oh, yes,
I'm at
okay. Or
Skypiea. I'm working on it.
oh, yes!
I'm working
I
on it.
love Skypiea,
Okay.
my favorite art. But, yeah, you'll meet her soon.
Okay.
But it's like a two-piece sorta situation, but it's chainmail, so, like, think, like, warrior, Amazon kinda lady,
Yeah.
but the chainmail looked more like dragon scale, like, it's big, it's, like,
Oh.
bigger, and I was like, "How am I gonna do that?" So the first time I did it with, like, pieces of foam, I, like, shaped the foam into
Mhm.
little ovals and put it on, like, the fabric.
Yeah.
Didn't give the effect I wanted, and then I was, like, looking at a spoon one day, and I'm like, "You know what? This is the perfect shape. If I can just use this as a mold," and then I'm like, "No, if I can just take the stem off the spoon,
Yeah.
drill a little hole in it, and it's, like, stitch it to this thing, that would make a lot of sense." So I, like, spray painted them gold. I think that was, like, my most genius idea, like, my cosplay brain was
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
That is
spoons, yes."
brilliant. That is. That's such a good idea. Though I
And it
imagine
came out really cool. It's
like a weird
nice.
angry fest as you're like just cracking spoons.
Yeah, literally,
Like
yeah,
I
it
need
was very
500 of
because it's
these.
like I tried to, like, heat it up to get the step, but it was just,
Yeah.
doing that, like, plastic bend thing where it
Yes.
bends but never breaks, and I'm like, "I need the end piece, I
Just
don't need you."
crack. Just crack it
And
up.
another one of my favorite hacks I didn't make this one up, this one I found online, God
Mhm.
bless wherever I found this, googly eyes
Mhm.
as rivets. Like the little piece like, if you're
Oh.
doing any metal armor,
Yeah.
a little googly eye in the corner will
Okay.
take that cosplay prop or whatever it is from, like, a 0 to 100. You'll never, because you put it on and then you spray paint it, so it just looks like a
Yeah.
little
And they're already
round
sticky.
3D. It's perfect.
And then when you
When I,
shake your
like
hand, do they rattle?
they do, which is mad funny, like, my Chun-Li, my not Chun-Li, Cammy, my
Yeah.
Cammy, things, they
Okay, that's
rattle.
funny.
But it looks so cool, it looks like a nail, and, like, when the first time I did it, which I think was for the Chun-Li bracers, I
Mhm.
just couldn't stop staring at it, I was like, "Wow,
It's
like,
perfect.
that looks pro." Like, I was like, "Yeah." Had my, like, little cosplay Sachi, like, "Oh my god, I'm a cosplayer," like
So where do you go for all your cosplay tips? Like, where do you see things like, "Oh, use the
Mhm.
googly eyes."
This is YouTube tutorial days. This is like,
Ah.
I followed Kimpatsu Cosplay,
Mhm.
Kamui Cosplay, Yaya Han, so
Yeah,
these are, like, our great mothers, like, these are,
exactly.
like, the ones who,
Pay
like,
homage.
came up with all these cool. Yeah, like if you ever for again, like League has a lot of characters where their ponytail it like defies gravity.
Yes.
So Kenpatsu cosplay came up with a really cool idea to like separate it and there's like a pipe involved and you like stick the ponytail in so it sticks like all these different like techniques that you wouldn't think to do or especially like back then no one knew how to do or whatever so they were like putting out videos on YouTube and
Yeah.
like potato quality but we were little cosplay people like write that down write that down like
I feel
I
like
yeah God
cosplayers are the ones who excelled in the science projects as
bless.
like
Right.
first graders.
They're like, "Wait, no, guys, I got this.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
this."
I know how we're gonna make this work.
And now I just kind of like follow, like, if you want to get more into like building armor,
Hmm.
things like that, follow cosplayers that do that. A lot of the times they still do work in progress pictures, so you can kind of
Mm,
understand the like technique in the process.
yes.
Now TikTok is actually a really good place to like learn cosplay stuff because everyone's doing like, start to finish builds and things like that. I'm very
Fast.
bad at that. We're trying again, imagine like stressing out about Warbler and also like your phone's here.
Yeah.
You're like, okay,
As I'm holding
let
this
me
and this, and I need 4 more arms.
yeah, like, exactly. It's like, no, you don't want to do that. Too much. It's too much.
You
So
just don't
I'm
want your
bad at
phone to
that. I
get too
promise.
close to the heat gun.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm gluing stuff. Like how sometimes I'm like, I don't even do are y'all getting someone to record this for you guys? Like, how are you spray painting with the so I'll get better, I promise. But yeah, just online now, like especially again because there's so many cosplayers now too.
Hmm.
A lot of people are like posting their processes, posting how they build stuff,
Yeah.
posting how they did the makeup. I remember one of the like top searches back then was like cosplay makeup tutorial. Like I'm sure if you go on YouTube,
Yeah.
there's like some video from like 2015 or something, and
Still the
it's
fan
like
favorite.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
this is again like scene here tutorial. Like that's how I learned anything really.
Yeah. Yeah. Like those are the great sacred texts.
Mhm. So, but it's like now, like I know y'all are like used to seeing tutorials all over your screen and stuff
Yeah.
now, but you have to search for those things back then.
Yes. Yes. As us ancients, we had
Right. It was not easy. But I love it now. Again, it's just easier access, like body paint
Yes.
and things like that. Like there's you just, follow
Mm,
makeup artists if you're trying to learn different things. So now as long as you kind of surround your content online with those kind of things, those tips and tricks will come to you.
yeah.
But if there's one thing I learned, googly eyes. That is
That's the magic.
peak.
That's the
It will
magic.
create such a difference.
Honestly, a good cheap option too. That and the plastic
Yeah,
spoons.
yeah,
Like,
you can get a pack for like
yeah.
$1 at like Michael's and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Even sometimes like the 99-cent store will like randomly have them or Target.
Dude,
Target
I'll
has
go to
packs
Sam's
of
Club, get
googly
the
eyes.
500 pack.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen people use like and they're different sizes. So you really can create that like
Love
dynamic. Like there's like smaller ones and bigger ones. So it looks so 3D and like,
that.
oh,
Okay.
I love it. It just metal. It's foam, but it's metal. Like it creates that effect. And that's the effect you want to have if you're creating armor.
That's the real illusion, isn't it? Like, oh, this is
Mhm.
foam, but it's, but it looks like
Exactly.
leather. Oh, it's plastic, but it
Yeah.
looks
See
like
so much
metal.
good leather foam work. It's crazy. Like I'm like, how? How? I'm still how about a lot of things, but at least like I can access it and practice and try it out.
It's the most common form of magic these days. That's what
Mhm.
cosplay is.
Yes, it's like
Ta-da.
yeah, the transitions that the TikTok people are coming up with, I
TikTok's a
kudos
whole
to
different
y'all
beast.
and y'all are great.
Knowing how to
'Cause I think
cosplay,
they're
knowing how to
really
TikTok, those are two separate skills.
I know, and it's crazy because now you as a cosplayer, that's why I kind of like have like I still cosplay and that's still my main form of content, but like I'm exploring other things and like,
Yeah.
doing other things because I realize like you kind of get pigeonholed after a while.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing TikToks.
Yeah.
So you end up like not being as relevant again for lack of a better term because you're not doing the cosplay stuff, the
Mhm.
cosplay trends or whatever. But
Yes.
again, I still do it cuz like I'm a big nerd and I like it and I like fashion, so like dressing up it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
But shout out to those transitions cuz they look the movements and they're
Fire.
so creative. I'm like, how did you even think of this? I like hate even editing anything.
And here they are. But don't downgrade any of the work that you're doing because it's so much to already make it and then to put it out on Instagram or other social media and to on top of it to say I'm also going to be a content creator. I'm going to be playing games. I'm
Right.
going to showcase this. It's a different set. And I think a lot of people forget that as content creators,
Mhm.
just like with cosplay, like we have our
Right.
subgroups on what
Yeah.
skills we develop, how we want to
Mhm.
create content, entertainment on that end, and
Right.
it branches. It branches.
Yep, and it's definitely gonna change. Like when I first came into this, like I knew I always loved gaming. Obviously, I was showing that love through cosplay, but then I'm like,
Yes.
what if I showed that love through gaming, you know? And that's how a lot of like cosplayers become streamers or streamers become cosplayers. And
Yes.
those like they end up all cross-pollinating together. And it's really cool now for me because I always felt like I had to be so separate. Like my
Hmm.
fashion stuff is over here, my
Yeah.
cosplay stuff is over here. But now everything is like blending and I can mix fashion and cosplay, and I'm like, "Yay, we live in a good world.
Yes.
We live in a society finally."
It's a real place. But I
Right.
love that. Now, of society, do you have a little community with you in your room? Did I hear a cat
Oh,
earlier?
no, I wish.
Okay, I
I
swore I heard a cat and I was like, is there a cat in there? Because we must
Oh,
see the
no,
baby.
I wish. I really want a dog,
Okay.
but I also have friends with cats, and I was never a cat person, and then all my friends got cats, and I was like, "Oh, wow, I'm a cat person." Like, I love cats. Do you have a cat?
I don't. I swear I heard the sound of a
Oh,
cat,
it
and
was
now I feel
probably
like I'm
my
feeling the
my
same.
congestion. I
You
It's
were so
probably
incredibly
meow.
kind to just give me that.
It's probably my congestion. I'm over here sniffling and
No.
shit. But no,
Just
I love cats. I wish I had a cat or like a rabbit or a parrot or like anything, honestly.
have you ever thought about using your if you ever got a pet, would you do a
Mhm.
cosplay with your pet?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
I am already subjecting my future pet to so many cosplays. So
Good.
like I grew up with a dog, but like she passed away when I was in college and I started cosplaying in college. So I missed that chance to
Yes.
like look at me and my nerdy dog.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and like, yeah, so it's like, okay, like I wanna one, I definitely that love of a pet is
Yes.
just so warm, so cozy. I definitely
Yeah.
want that again. And I want to make it a big nerd because
Yeah.
yes.
Share the love that you have.
Yes.
Like if you I
I
mean
and I
some
my siblings came to visit me because they live in Trinidad
mhm.
and they're younger than me. They're like 11 and 13.
Mhm.
And I did a cosplay with them, and that was, like, my bucket list. I, like, kind of fake forced them into it, but then they started doing it because they love me. They they were like, "Did we have to?"
Okay.
I'm like, "Yeah," because they, like, love the show. It was a Demon Slayer cosplay.
Oh, yeah.
So then, like, they were all like, "Oh, whatever, whatever," and then I started showing them the actual outfits on Amazon, and they were like, "Oh, wait, 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 I want that one."
Yeah.
I was like, "This is the plan."
I've got you. You are now
Yeah.
caught into the nest and you will love
Mhm.
cosplay like I
Yep.
do.
Like, yep, that's it started with the anime worked, the video games worked. I was like,
Perfect.
"Alright, let's go."
Mhm. Mhm. I love that.
Creating the future.
But that's where you're sharing the love and you're also showcasing like here's how you can get involved. It's not as
Right,
terrifying. There's not this high threshold that you have to hop
right,
into.
yeah.
Do you
Mhm.
like doing group cosplays?
I do. I'm also a bit of a loner, so
Yeah.
sometimes it more gives me that, like, anxiety feeling of, like, "Oh my god, obligations." But, like, I do love the idea of, like, pulling up to the con
Mhm.
with someone that's, like, your duo or, like, whatever character or whatever. Me and my friends do it a lot of times. We try and squeeze in at least one at some point. I know last time, I did a group cosplay, it was the Mario princesses from the Nintendo. So it was like Peach,
Okay.
Daisy, and Rosalina.
Mhm. Yes.
Rosalina or Pauletta? Yeah, Rosalina. I'm like
Rosalina.
Rosalina. Yeah, my Smash brain is like, huh? Um, and yeah, that was fun. Like we did like bunny versions of them. So
Oh.
that was like cute. So I do love that. And then it's
Yes.
also like nice for people to be like, oh, you guys are a group. I want to do a really big Gantz group like the all black suits with the blue.
Ooh.
And every
Yeah.
time I post my Gantz cosplay, they're like, "Gantz group when?" I'm like, "I don't know, y'all tell me. I really wanna do this. Like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
Don't
like
make
all
me
20
organize,
of us."
but I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't wanna plan it, but
No.
like, I definitely want it.
Yes, yes, exactly. But there's something really great about like it's that next level of community where we're like we're doing this
Yeah.
together. Like we planned, we orchestrate, and now we have a group picture.
Yeah, and, like, it's also the best part about a group is seeing people's reactions at the
Mm,
cons, like, it's always so, like, "Wow," like, this is, like,
yeah.
amazement, and I love that because it's like, how'd you guys even plan it and process, put all it together and all that stuff. So it's worth it in the end,
Yeah.
but it is a lot of like stress and anxiety and like
Yeah.
groups.
Yeah.
Like the group project in school. Of course, you're like, okay, I'd rather do this by myself, but
Yes. No
it's
pressure.
fun when it's done and everyone's doing their part and stuff.
Yes. Well, and there is a bit of pressure. Like you have to
Mhm.
hit the deadline. You can't be like, well, I'm going to use my fallback
Yeah,
cosplay because
exactly.
like,
Yeah, like you don't want to let them down. You don't
yeah,
want to, so it's like it just that extra element of like things you have
yeah.
to think about, and like your human brain is like, ugh, things
Hmm.
you have to think about.
I mean, and it's also recognizing like you play a role in it. You can't do like Mario Party and have all the crew except for Luigi, right? People are
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Like you gotta exactly.
yeah.
So you gotta pick. It's like, okay, how are we gonna do this, guys?
Yes, yes, yes. We are running out of time, which
Oh
breaks my
yes.
heart. But you are a delight. Just an absolutely effervescent, bubbly personality
Thank
who's
you,
been
thank
so poignant at guiding us through this world of cosplay. I'm so glad as we kick off this whole month where we're diving in and hanging out with cosplayers just like you have been such a wonderful welcome into this
you.
very daunting and
Good
very large
representation.
group. So I want to leave it up as we begin to wrap up. One, tell us all where we can find you. I know in chat we've got your link tree up there
Yes,
already,
that's
but
everything.
blast
And
us with
I
all
will,
of
yes,
it.
so you guys can find me at Chibith0t with a 0 on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. On Twitch and YouTube, I am Local Magical Gal, GAL. I am doing 2 really cool events if you are in the local NYC area for Anime NYC weekend. The Thursday before Anime NYC, I'm doing a Gunpla event and it's ladies' night. So we're just trying to get more girls out to try like Gunpla building and, do it for the first time if they've never done it or just kind of, network.
Mhm.
Really chill. It's going to be at the Bronx Brewery. That information will be found on my page. And then Sunday, I am doing Girls Game Night, the annual charity event that me and Land Party Studios do. It's basically a night at OS NYC where girls come out, everyone games, well, the girls game for free, and we do casual tournaments and raffles and panels with like people from the industry to just foster that community of girls in the industry, girls gaming, and just a safe space for them to even try out new games they never played. Just
Ooh.
fun, chill times and drinks.
I'm jealous. I want that in Orlando.
Yes,
How do I
please
get that
fly
down
through.
here?
We would love to travel. I usually come to Hallmat. I was a caster for the last Holiday Matsuri. I would love to. I have family in Orlando.
Please
We'll bring it out there
come
for sure.
host it for us. Yes.
Yes,
Just so
we'll
I
do it
can
at like
attend.
player one or something. Yeah, I'm with it. I'm totally with it.
That's
But yeah, you
amazing.
guys, thank you so much for having me. This was like literally, I'm not like one of the most fun interviews, just sessions ever. Like, I love this. You're great. And yeah, great vibes. Like I said, I came home from work today,
Yeah,
so I'm bubbly because like your energy is awesome.
we're
And
matching.
yeah,
We're
yes,
matching.
exactly. So thanks for having me. Shout out to the gamers as always. I'm excited. So
Yes,
thank you.
yes. Hear that, friends? If you're in the local NYC area, make sure you go check out those events. You're not gonna regret it at all.
Yes, they're both
Yes.
free, and again, the information will be found on my page, and if it is not, if you have any questions, hit me up about it, let me know what's up, and I will be at Anime NYC all weekend as well, so say hi if you see me.
I'm convinced New York has all the best stuff. Brutality does want to know what cosplay or cosplays are you thinking for Anime NYC?
The only one I can say right now that I know for sure is
Mhm.
Chibith0t from Castlevania, and I'm also bringing back my Guts cosplay, but in a different way, and it's a surprise, so you will see.
Ooh.
Also, hi
Ooh.
Brutality, what's up? I didn't even notice that was you. Hi, from my chat.
I
Yes.
love it. I love it. You are a delightful human being. So, friends, make sure that you
Thank
are
you.
following Chibi on all social media accounts. You will not regret it. Add more beauty, add more grace, add more all the wonderful art and cosplay that is Chibi onto your channels. Trust me, it will make your day, your month, your year better. All right. Chibi, any final thoughts before we wrap up for today?
No, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Again, like I said, do whatever it is you're doing for yourself.
Mm,
Don't let outside forces tell
yes.
you can't do something. You probably can, and if you don't know, try it first before you give up. And drink water and watch One Piece. Yes.
What a pitch at the end. All right, friends. Good luck with all of that. Hopefully the easiest thing will be drinking water. I'm just telling you right now, watching all 1000 episodes of One Piece will be the greatest challenge of your life. Good luck. We'll see
Check
you
out.
all.
Bye, guys.